أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is, guys, the first masterclass ever of mine. The idea is that we need everyone to have a high mastery, actually just a full mastery of Salah. There's many reasons. First, everybody on this group are already chatting with everyone in their own world regarding Salah, debating about them, explaining them this and that. And within maybe 2 years or so, you guys would have some sort of mastery of your own individually. This is going to be more of a controlled way, more of a disciplined way from my world experience. So I've been on this since 2000 and maybe 12, 11. So around that time, that's when I initially had a debate with imams and realized this was a big subject. And then the most important glaring thing that came out was after 1400 years, no one knows how to do salah through the Quran. And first, it was shocking. Till this day, it's still shocking to me. The second thing is, it's like, wait, we have a new discovery to make in the Quran. So that was the other huge thing. There's actually stuff, yet people memorize the Quran, they know all this stuff, yet it proves that Allah guides whomever He wills, sends astray whomever He wills. He has a ghishawa, He has like this form of barrier in front of people's eyes, hearts, that they cannot understand the Quran and so on. So now that we have this a huge gift, and everyone, for example, you too are technically in a very high special position because you're literally the first to really, we're going to go through this in a very unique way. Guys, how I know all of this that I'm going to tell you in this, to be honest with you, is only, I don't really know. That's kind of weird to say that, but Allah knows best. And there's something, I don't know how Allah did it with me in my head and all this, but it's there, and I'm going to show you guys right now. So let's go in right away. So we're going to, the first thing is, obviously we're a tiny group, and it's always going to be like that when it comes to master classes, real master classes. The goal is that you guys, whatever subject in the Quran of related to the Salah, and you guys are going to have access to these documents after this recording, only you guys, okay? And the goal is any question that comes out in the Salah, anything, you don't actually have to go open the corpus like this and go search for it and find it. You should have it in your head instantly, like that, okay? That's one of the main goals. Second goals is obviously the explanation part. You're clarifying all this by Allah's wills. And the third goal is really, we are doing what Allah instructed the prophets, and the prophets instructed us. And we're going to see certain verses here, and let's go here directly, and Surah 3 verse 79. Like right here, I just see how I'm going like this. You guys are going to be able to do this. Okay, so the goal here, okay, so A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So this is Surah Ali Imran, verse 79. Always, the first rule, we're gonna before we even get into understanding names, time frames, I'm gonna teach you guys a thing called the memory techniques. Okay, the techniques. I use the word technique. This is the most technical term, but it's also the word tricks. Okay, and I'm purposely not showing all the answers right now because I want to go through it with you. But eventually, you guys will have to be able to do all of this easily without ever looking at what I'm going to show you right now, okay? But the memory techniques and tricks. Now, this is related mainly with surah numbers and verses and names. So you have to know all three, okay? Why? And let's add the why question here. Okay, so why? Because one, when you know the surah, if you know the name of the surah, like we were right now, Ala Imran, the family of Imran, in Surah 3, this creates what is called how, because how our brain works on memory, our brain works with this concept called association. Okay, association. We associate things to memorize things, and we put we you ever play that card game where you have this card that looks like this other card? There's two cards that match and you have to memorize these matching cards. You know what I mean? Like there's, so it's like this, so you guys can see my screen, right? So all the cards are flipped backwards, and when you first start, you start flipping one card and you flip another, and then when you get it wrong, you flip the card back, and then somebody flips this card, and if he sees an apple, and he's like, oh, I saw the apple before, boom, you flip it. So your brain works like this. And the second thing is um, association plus storytelling. Okay, you want to do a type of storytelling, and you're gonna understand why I'm doing this right here. So right here, what did I do to find Surah 3 verse 79? Okay, so what was the first key thing? So one, I already knew what I was looking for is this word called Rabbaniyin, this word right here. Okay, so be pious or scholars or masters. It really means like masters of the book. Okay, so this Rabbaniyin is actually connected to the word rabbis, how Jews called rabbis. And what are rabbis? The rabbis, Ribbiyun. Okay, so rabbis. What are they? And so they normally, I mean, currently, when you go to a Jewish, they don't, there are Jewish priests, but when you go there, it's like the imam, right? But it's deeper. They should have a very powerful understanding of the Torah. Okay, so that's the logic, right? Doesn't mean they really have nowadays, but that's what it is. Um, so I'm looking for this word. Now I've done this so many times already. It's like embedded in my mind. Um, so one thing is this number 79 is the problem. How do I know it's in Surah Ali Imran. Okay, so the family of Imran. So the problem is in Surah Imran there's 200 verses. It's a massive surah. It's the third biggest surah. Um, and yeah, third biggest surah, right? So Nisa is second, Baqarah's first. And so out of all the surah, what would I think is right there? One is the one of the tricks that we need to figure out with the Quran to do numbers, verses, and names is anything related with numbers. Okay, so this one's gonna help the first two. Okay, so this one and this one, anything related to number. What does that mean? Anything related to numbers, like multiples, uh, prime, and even numbers, the tricks. So guys, at first, this is, you guys are gonna be like, wait, what's happening here? You'll understand what this is, all these little hidden stuff that you need to know in advance, and this is going to change everything when you realize there's tricks like this and there's actually connections afterwards. We're gonna see the connections very soon, but I'm gonna lay out just some of the key important things. Okay, so prime numbers, even numbers. I think 79 prime number. It looks like a prime number. Yes. Okay, so 79. Now I'm gonna go here, and so what did I do here? Surah 3. I know it's Surah 3. How do I find this? Oh, the verse I'm looking for is a prime number, meaning it cannot be divisible by other numbers except itself. What is it? Okay, cool. What else can you do here? I can add the two together. 7 plus 9 is 16. Okay, I have 16. Does that help a little bit? Maybe, maybe not. For others, it could. Um, then you can also do, okay, it's two different prime numbers. There's a 9 in the end. 9 is 3 to the power of 3. So there's these little connections you can do with the numbers, and you have a little storytelling in your brain Okay, but this one's we're not gonna. We don't need to know this surah, by the way. Okay, um, we're gonna be only related to Salah verses, and you're gonna see how it's gonna be more relevant very soon. But just keep in mind this storytelling in your brain. Now, if I ever all this information that I just gave right now, if I close this, if I hide this, okay, or go back here, and I go, guys, what was that surah verse that has Rabbaniyun in it, that has to be masters of the book in it? You guys will all know, obviously, right now what it is, right? But your memory has so much more information now. Why? Because I gave a story to it. It doesn't matter what it is. What even and this is scary to say this, but it doesn't even matter if it's true at this point. What matters is your brain remembers it. And your brain loves association more. Association means connections. Okay? Connections. So all you have to do is create tremendous amounts of connections. More connections means so more let's go more connections important, okay? And this is very important. So this part right now we're going through. We're never gonna go through it after I might bring up some I'm gonna bring up some tricks here and there nonstop. But this, guys, I'm telling you, is this one of the secrets of what I'm doing. Okay, it's extremely important. Extremely, okay? And every master, like in chess masters, grandmasters, anything that requires tremendous memory, they all do things like this. No exception. If you actually go listen to any, like, if you listen to Magnus, you guys know who Magnus Carlsen is? You have to understand, they have to know hundreds and thousands of moves by heart. Like crazy stuff. Same stuff. Same tactics. Okay, let's move on and so tricks with numbers, and the final ultimate trick that we need that's very relevant is the name of the surah. So in other words, if you want to memorize surah 3, the name of the surah is always going to be connected with this number. So to me, number 3 by default equals Al Imran. So there's already an association right here. So every single number is unique with the name. Okay, so Surah 3, all these numbers has a unique name. There are tiny exceptions. For example, Surah Ghafur. Okay, this is when we get a little bit more advanced. This one in some surahs is called Surah Al-Mu'minu, Al-Mu'min too. Is another way to say, even though Surah Mu'min exists in Surah 23 over here, there's these tiny little things like Surah Al-Isra. Okay, it's also Al-Bani Israel. Surah 9 could also be Tawbah, but it's also considered Bara, Surah Bara. So there's these tiny little exceptions. The rest is kind of different. All the same, I mean, like this. But you don't have to know all that right now. But just remember, we have a unique number, name, association. Let's go back to this verse and let's read this. Okay, ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب. And it was not for a human being or a mortal that Allah should give him the book, wal hukm, okay, not hikmah, wal hukm, and the judgment, okay, and the way of decision, wan nubuwa, and prophethood. Okay, and nubuwa. So this is huge. This is a very special prophet Allah's talking about here. So Allah doesn't give to any man, any human being, the book, the hukum, and the prophethood, the special 3 criterias, okay, the requirements. So that means these are the 19 special prophets, okay, so the 19 main ones, and all that will go later on. And this is then confirmed in the verse 81, okay, so where Allah brings out the covenant of the prophets, where he brings up the scripture, the wisdom again, and they are prophets. So huge thing that who Allah is referring to here. Then yaqula linnas, they say to mankind, kunu ibadan li, be worshippers of me, min dunillah. So they will never say this, the prophets. Okay, Allah is saying that they will never say something like this. Walakin, however, they're going to say this, kunu rabbaniyin, be Rabbaniyin. So if Muhammad was alive right now, or all of the prophets were alive, or any of the prophets, I mean, were alive right now, and we were their close followers, they will go to us, Kunu Rabbaniyun. Okay, be Rabbaniyin. Okay, so be this, what I'm about to tell you. Because kuntum tuallimun al-kitab, because you had been teaching the book. Okay, you had been teaching the book, the scripture, or you have been taught the book, scripture. Wa bima, and because kuntum tadarasun, and because you have studied it, or you are studying it. So this is what they would tell us. So we have to do this. Okay, and Allah is telling us right now. So keep that in mind. That's why I brought this up. And now let's dive into the main things. All right, guys. So names and time frames. What are the names of Salah? So everybody agreed. Fajr. Okay, let's put it properly. Salatul Fajr is one. As-Salatul Wusta, or al-Wusta. You gotta understand why I put the as-Salah here, because it's an adjective here. And then you have Salatul. What was that? Salatul Isha. What verse? This is where we're at. So you guys found that answer. What verse? So Amir goes 24:58. Snap. Sorry, guys.
You just say it, bro.
That's what I mean. It's natural. You understand?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay,
That's a
hold
good
on.
example.
What did I just? What did I just? Sorry,
58,
guys,
bro.
for
It's
whoever
okay,
was
bro.
watching this. That's my fault. Okay, what did I say? 58. Okay, so boom. So you said that this gives Fajr and Esha. Good. So this is a big verse. That's the first thing. Okay. So now let's look at it. Okay. So before we even look at the ayah. Okay. Here, this is the ayah. Okay. This is a huge verse. There's two things. 58 has two Salah names. It's not just Fajr, right? It's also Isha too. So you have two things here, right? So what verse? So and so let's find out the tricks. Okay, so let's go here. The tricks. There are two names. Okay, so there are two names. That's in here. What else do we have in here? So so let's go back here. So 2, 4, and you have in the verse. So the problem is the verse. So now you can look at 5. You can look at as Fajr, and 8 as Isha. There's 5 is Fajr. There's two. Remember, there's two. We know there's two verses. Sorry, two names. So you can say we know that. Okay, if you didn't know the surah name, I know that there's two names, and 4 is the double or square of 2. So 2 to the power of 2. So you'd be like, well, what's the point? Why am I doing all this? Why am I saying all this? Guys, the goal is just keep saying stories like this. Your brain loves this stuff. It doesn't even matter if it makes perfect sense or not, but there has to be some sort of logic. So 24:58.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm giving you little stuff here. Okay, now if you go to the verse, okay, it's a pretty deep, long verse, and I'm gonna read this in the English quick. If I see there's some really bad translation, we'll clarify that. But I think it's pretty decent. So, all you who have believed, very simple. Let those whom your right hand possesses, okay, perfect, and those who have not reached puberty among you, so al-hulum, ask permission before they enter at 3 times. So this is really one of the key words. Okay, minkum thalatha marrat. Okay, marrat. So there's 3 special times. So this verse has another double meanings. There's 3 times. You're like, wow, okay, there's a number 3. So okay, that's interesting. And then before Salatul Fajr, boom, we have the first time mentioned min qabali Salatil Fajr. First, he goes in this verse is thalatha marrat. So there's 3 times. and then it's three special times, and we have Fajr here, a noon time frame, which is not mentioning the word Salah, and night Salah, so Salatul Isha, okay, Al-Isha, okay, very important. And these are proper nouns, so there's no alif in front of the sad here. So the as-salah, it's not as-salatul wusta, Isha, because it's not an adjective. And then Allah says again, thalathu awrat. Okay, so here instead of saying marrat, he says thalathu awrat lakum. So the number 3 is mentioned twice again. Okay, so now you have 3 being said twice. Okay, so Allah is repeating the number 3. Okay, so there's 3 special times for you twice. Okay, Allah says this. Okay, remember this. Now, why is he saying 3 twice? Could that have something to do with because there's 2 rak'ahs and all that? So when we get to the rak'ahs and all that, this is another little trick that you can start remembering this verse. So this is a very important verse. It's huge. And then it starts saying there is no blame upon you nor upon these periods. Meaning, min ba'di salatil wusta, so after salatul fajr, sorry, they can those who you control with your right hand, your malakat aymanukum, so those that you control with your right hand, your who you control, who you own, so on, can be interpreted in many ways. They don't have to ask permission to enter your boundaries after Salatul Fajr, after this time frame, and min qabli Salatil Isha, so before Salatul Isha instead of ba'd, after. So very important to understand that. For they are continually circulating among you. So Allah gives you a clear explanation why they can do that. Thus Allah makes clear to you the verses, and Allah is most knowing, most wise. So 2458. 2458. You have to just remember that. And this is super important. Why? The names are only mentioned here in the whole entire Quran. Like this. So only one spot. So very valuable. Okay? So just remember. So that means, hey, is there another place where Salatul Fajr is mentioned? No. Is there another place where Salatul Isha is mentioned? No. Is the word Isha mentioned elsewhere? Of course, yes. Is Fajr mentioned elsewhere? Yes. But not Salatil Fajr, not Salatil Isha. Alright, next. What is the next name of the surah? So we already know Wusta. So we said we know what this one is. Where is it? Right now, what we're going to do is convert this number here into... So now we're going to use the one that has 2 names to help us find the one that has 1 name. Okay? So first of all, somebody said 2 Baqarah. So now we can say like, okay, I remember that Surah 24 verse 58. Listen to what I'm saying. Look at the story I'm saying, okay? I remember Surah 24 verse 58 has Fajr and Isha. Where is Salatul Wusta? I remember there's only one. It only mentions it one time. So there should only be like a 1 digit with the surah. And I remember it was identical to Surah 24. So 2, they're the same, right? Number here. So it's only 1 number, so okay, it has to be in Baqarah. Or you should always know Baqarah is the only place that's mentioned Al-Wusta. Okay, Al-Wusta is only in Baqarah. And now we're going to go, okay, 238. So guys, just remember, anything in the 200s in the whole entire Quran is almost super rare. Yeah, so there's only Baqarah, Imran, that literally ends at 200. So we can even exclude Imran, but obviously you can, there's one. And then you have Surah Poets, Shu'ara, that goes to 227. Okay? So you kind of have to know that, but so Shu'ara is 26, is the poets. Okay, so this is a next level of mastery, but we don't need to know all. You guys should do that on your own. 227. This is the highest. So anything above 227, Baqarah. Only. Remember that, guys. Only. So here, this is unique verses right here. Why did I say? So Surah 58. There's so many surah that has verse 58. Okay, so many. But none has 238. Okay, so we know it's in the 200s. I like how it's messed up. Okay, how do we know it's 38? So there's three salah. Now the inside the verse. Now let's go to the verse now. Okay, so here we have hafidhu, so maintain or guard, ala salawat, so prayers, okay, in plural, okay, prayers. So you have at least three prayers, okay, so there's at least three prayers, okay, wa salatil wusta, and then Allah's putting this special emphasis on wusta, al wusta. And you're gonna notice that as-salah is written with alif lam, okay? And this is a grammatical stuff. Wusta is an adjective, and because of the rules of adjectives, because it's middle, that's an adjective in English, every language in the world actually. So you have to put the alif lam in front. So that makes it like that. Okay, so you don't have to know what I just said there, but you should know what I just said there, okay? But we'll get back to grammar later, and trust me, I'm gonna bring back this grammar stuff later. So tricks. Okay, remember, we're only trying to memorize this number. Okay, guys, let's keep it simple. We're only trying to memorize this. So let's go back. So 58, there's definitely an 8. So we know the two names, one name. So Surah Baqarah, 200 and something 8. 200 and something 8. So this is some stuff. Okay, 883. What is the obvious middle number that you can think of, guys? What is the only middle thing you can think of that can solve the 3? I would say there's three salah. Three salah, and the salah is even emphasizing that there's at least three salah here. Hafidu ala salawat, so guard strictly upon your salats. So there's at least three. In Arabic, it's three. It's not salawatain or something, salawatan or something. It never says that in the Quran. There's no two. So it never says two. It's at least three. So right there, there should be the number 3 no matter what. So, and it's a unique number. It's the only unique number. When I say unique number, it has to be Baqarah, big number. Okay, so let's find unique number, meaning above 227 verses. At least, meaning at least from 200 plus. Okay, so that's what that means. Okay, like that. So that's for that's equal for number 2. Okay, for number 3 equals 3 salah. What? Okay, so that's how you say in Arabic in plural, 3 salahs. Okay, let's say it like that. And number 8 equals same ending as 2458. So the goal of connecting this one is that you connect the two together. Okay, and so you want to create memories. So now, guys, I'm gonna go here and be like randomly quick, guys. Forget everything. Move away your notes. What surah? What is the surah that has 2 names of the salah? Boom. Okay, what exactly, guys? I want everybody respond super fast. Once I say it, it needs to be fast. Where is the name of surah Al-Wusta? Where's the surah? Where's Al-Wusta mentioned? Yeah, exactly. 238. Okay, 238 verse. Boom, like that. Okay, good, done. That's it. That's it. That's all we did today. Okay, so far, nice. Now look how Allah did this. Remember, 2 surahs have the same name, right? Okay, sorry, the same name is in one surah, and one wusta is separated between the 2, right? So this is a very clear distinction. 2 names here, 1 name here. So now let's go to the when. Time frames now. Okay, so this is today. This is all we're gonna be doing. Time frames. I just gave you guys a hint like this of what this tricks, but we're gonna see it. Who knows where is the time frames of the salahs? Yeah. So guys, look at the connections here. Here it says 2 time frames. Here's 1. Here we saw that there's 2 names, and here there's 1. This is all designed by Allah. So this is gonna answer that question. Why is Dahira? the middle or noon or something was mentioned,
Yeah.
and not wusta was not mentioned here. And why is wusta here and is
Subhanallah,
unique?
miracle.
Okay,
Yeah.
so very important. So okay, what are the time frames mentioned here?
I'm not
So
sure.
remember, guys, I gave you.
Isha.
Remember, there's a hint here. Has to if there's a connection like
Oh,
this,
dude. That's
so
what I
it
was
has to be Fajr and Isha. It's exactly this. We're gonna see the verse. Don't worry. But without even looking at the verse, I mean inside the verse, the numbers are going to tell us the answers. That's
Should
why
be
this is
Wusta.
super important to do these. Remember, you will notice this when you master it, but then it gets deeper. Then you go, bro, Allah did all this on purpose. It's not a coincidence. Okay, there's no coincidence. I can guarantee you guys, there's no coincidence.
Go
So
ahead, go
hold on,
ahead.
this is one time frame. It's over here. So what is this time frame? Wusta. Let's go check now. Let's go analyze 1:11 and do the tricks for it. Okay. So what just happened right now was new storytelling was into your brains for this right here. Now you guys have more additional reinforcement to remember 2458 and 238. Okay, 238. 200, this number, 238. There's another cool thing just to remember that I just remembered right now is, oh, yeah, oh, bro, exactly. Uranium's 238. Okay, so this is a really important thing. Okay, so uranium can have plutonium, the isotopes. So this is how they discovered that they can create atomic bombs. They needed this number 238. It's super special. So 238 is a very special number. I know, guys, it's a very extreme stuff, but again, in my little science world, this is really unique. This number was the golden number for them to crack the code of making the ultimate bomb. So 238 is a really awesome number, just to let you know. But these are things that you want to know, right? All right, guys, let's jump back here. So 1114. Let's just close this. Now, so this has so 11. This everything tells there's 1 1. What is that? So that there's two Salah time frames, and 114. You can just say there's 114 surahs in the Quran. You can always say there's two Salahs. I know one of them has 114. Boom. It's easy. This is a special number, right? You should know, like, this is the total number of surahs in the Quran. 114, unique, nice. 6 verse 114, the one you just brought out, was another way that I actually use too. Cool. Okay. You have 11, 11, like a pair, right? Another 2, like that. You have 4. Again, this is dividable by 2, which is 2. There's 4 ones. So the goal is, guys, right now I do all of this naturally. I don't even say that. I just look at it. I just start seeing these things. This is the whole point today, right now, of this conversation. Okay, today. So you do this. Okay, cool. Now what I say? Aqimi salata tarafi nahar. So at both tarafi is in dual sense context in Arabic. Tarafi in nahar. So you have the both ends of the nahar. So the day has 2 ends. So this is really the key thing. And here is where it gets interesting. And at the approach, this should be approaches, plural, was zulufan. Zuluf is in plural. Minal layl. This is a huge one, okay? And we have to actually understand the proper wording, okay? So what zulufan, okay? Zuluf is in plural. So yeah, this is so here let's just understand of Quranic stuff first, okay? So this translation is incorrect, okay? So there's a plural. Let's see who actually does it. So some watches. So he's saying some. So this is plural. He's trying to put it here. He goes approaches. So he does it good. First hours. Okay, so of the night. So this is interesting, but it's not the word hours. But I kind of see why he's using that. Beginning of the wrong hours of the night. Ana ilay. So this is not the right word, but you see why they're doing it. So, but the point is, there's a plural of night. So the question really, there's a lot of things to understand. In the Quran, the night is plural. Okay, meaning it has, and we're gonna see that in Surah Muzammil. Okay, Surah 73, the last verse 20. Okay, So in here's a big little, somewhat of a big verse. So your Lord knows that you are going to stand, okay, uh, almost 2/3 of the night, or half of it, or a third of it. So you have thulathay layl, so 2/3, wa nisfah, so a half or half of it, wa thuluthahu, or 1/3 here. So the night is divided into three. Even though the word layl is like singular, but it does. This is how Allah wrote it. Night has three portions. You have to. This is a Quranic fact right here. Boom, proof right here. So now when we go here, what are the three portions of the night? Okay. So literally, so here they divided into four, but in reality, this astronomical twilight. See this little line right here, this line. Okay, this is where it really is. This is, look at 1, 2, 3, not the steps between that. This threes is what Allah is referring to. This phase change is 1, phase change is 2, phase change is 3. Okay, so now what Allah is saying here, now if we, so this right here, this is the day. Let's, perfect, this is better. So now you guys see the three nights, okay, three approaches, okay, and it's very important to understand this. So here is the both ends, right? Sunset, sunrise, sunset. So in this example here, the sun is going from here and is going like this, right? It's going left, right? It's rising up like this from the right here, and is going to the middle, then going to the left, like that. That's what this image would illustrate. Now let's go to the verse. Okay, so we don't need this, okay? You guys know there's three approaches, okay? This is what the verse says, okay? We don't need this anymore, and that's your proof. And here, let's go back here. So now it says, at the approaches of the night. So what does it say? Establish Salat at two ends of the day, at the approaches of the night. Now, the word and here, okay, wa. This wa, the and, no one sees it, but this is where it gets a little bit advanced. The Arabic, the wa has a lot of rules, okay? The most basic rule that everyone knows is the wa, meaning and. Everyone knows that. That's not a wow thing, you know? The other rules, there's many. There's, for example, swearing. Wal fajri, or wallah, you know, there's the wa that swears upon Allah, or swears with the fajr or something. And the next word would have a genitive context. It will be wa fajri, wallahi. Okay, that's one rule. Then there's what Ismet just wrote right there. There's the wa haliya. Very famous wa haliya. The wa haliya, let's use this one. أو كالذي. Okay, let's just look at this in Arabic. أو كالذي مر على قرية. Or as the one who passed by a township. Okay, أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها. وهي. This wa is not ever nobody translated as and. You're gonna see everyone is gonna start saying, this guy doesn't even say it. He says and. That's really scary that he doesn't hear the Arabic here. Him too. And that was fallen, so he sees it here. So but this is so super obvious. But this rule this is not an allegory. This is not a mutashabihat verse. This is absolutely muhkamat. It's clear as day. Ironically, we're clear as day, and so on. So you have to know this rule in Arabic. And then there's many more. There's the wa that always normally starts in the beginning of the verse. This is kind of like the A capital in English, where the first letter has to be capitalized, right? Like this. It's a rule. Okay, in Arabic, you have to put the and in front, but it also means and. And there's other rules, okay, guys, there's other stuff. We don't need to go into all that. The one we just need to know is that there's the hadiya rule, that meaning it's a continuation. It follows through, meaning in English it is which. WHICH. It continues, or that, or something like that. So here it means like, so if you look at it as and, so that means so you can see it as, okay, there's two ends of the day, and this could mean a third time frame. So there is that possibility, but this can also say وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةُ طَرَفِي النَّهَارِ وَزُلُفًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ, meaning it's while the approaches of the night for the both ends. So this is a high level, but in reality it's not that high. But the only reason why I'm saying it's a high level is because nobody here saw that, except a few people that I know that I've read online back in the days. So now if you look at it, but even as and, it still doesn't mean it's a third night. There is an option, and guys, you have to know all of this. If you're going to be a master of what we're talking about, which you are going to be, I hope so, guys. You have to know everything I just said. Okay, it's very important, because if they are this problem right here, you are 100% gonna have it. I got this question so many times, and then I made a video, you can refer to it, but you need to understand it. But you need to know and understand there is a while or which, and so on, while the approaches of the night. Wa zulufan min al-layl. It's really nice. Okay, now that you know those rules, and we go back to this picture. So here, sunrise, okay? Sunrise. So the sun is going this way up, right? Allah says to approach the salah here, at the approaches of the night. So downwards, right? Of the multiple of this way, right? Exactly. So it's not after. So the question is it so is the end of the prayer before sunrise or after sunrise? If it's at the approaches of the night, which here is down, it's before, and the approach is more towards the night is somewhere around here, right? So this one is, and we see what the definition of Fajr is after anyways. We know it's right here. So now this one 100% confirms Fajr. So the question, this is the secret question, okay? So let's go back here. What is it before before sunrise or sunset? This is the question. Is it before sunrise or sunset? And the answer is the verse that says right after, at the approaches of the night. Okay, this right here, while at the approaches of the night. So now if you go back, this one, sunrise, okay, before so before is the approaches of the night. Sunset is after sunset, right? The approaches of the night is after, right? Okay, and just to end this ayah, that's something special here, okay? Even though it's different about time framing, but Allah says, Innal hasanati yudhibana sayyi'at. Very beautiful thing. Allah says the hasanats are removing or taking away the sayyi'at. That means salah is a form of hasanat that erases sayyi'at. Such a huge thing. So salat has, this is a very benefits of salah that we're going to see later on. We're going to come back to this verse. We just want to bring that out. ذَلِكَ ذِكْرَى لِلذَّاكِرِينَ. So that means the remembrance of Allah has the power of erasing sins. Okay, such a huge thing. So salah is huge, how this verse ends. Okay, so just wanted to put that as a side note. All right, let's go back here. So that's one time frame that we just saw. We're gonna come back to this one because there's a confusion verse around this. Okay, we're gonna see that we're gonna see that. And the next one was Surah 1778. So this again, one last thing, 11:14. So the goal is, okay, this one has two time frames. So when that means two time frames, that means there's a beginning and end. That's a time frame. There's a beginning and end. Okay, a time frame just doesn't mean the name of the time. That's what we have here, 24:58 and 2:38. This is just saying al-wusta in the middle. This is Fajr and Isha. These are names. These are also timings, but it's not a real time frame. This is a time frame. There's a beginning and end. So that means, what is the beginning here? So the beginning would be So let's go to so here Fajr has a special time frame that is into 187. Okay, and this is again another number to 100% memorize. The 187 is a very famous number in English where it's like there's the 187 code when they're gonna unfortunately assassinate someone. There's a thing called 187. It's a code for homicide and stuff like that for police officers. It's just it's a weird thing, but 187 is a very famous wording in English. So I know I like that, but this is huge, but this is also very useful for Ramadan. Okay, so everybody, where does it say that you have how to break your fast and so on? 187. So now let's just keep it as what's cool is that the 78 here or the 87, the reverse is 78, right? So we can see some little connections here like that. But this is giving you the timing of Fajr where you have where the white thread of dawn of Fajr becomes distinct to you from the black thread. So the white thread is somewhere around here. So Allah's really pinpointing where the Fajr kind of like ends. So basically, Fajr is like, so let's say, I think it's like actually, sorry, around the nautical twilight. So around here, and basically this spot right here. And this is again in the approaches of the night. Okay, approaches of the night, right, goes this way. So here, this little zone, because this is night, this is not Fajr. Fajr is like it starts getting dark blue. You can see it's like dark blue. Let's say night, let's say this dark blue is like 3 a.m. Let's just say 3 a.m. right here. And this is gonna be like 350. Like there's like sometimes 50 minutes, sometimes like 30 minutes, sometimes maybe max, maybe a little bit more. You have a little bit of time here. But then it becomes very clear as daylight outside. Now, technically speaking, this zone is all perfect timing for Fajr. Like to be like perfect, 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 it's kind of hard. So you kind of have this zone of perfect timing for Fajr. You have like a big gap, which is very special and unique. So between nautical and astronomical, okay? This zone, okay, there's two zones of night. They are still considered a night zone or Zulufan min al-layl. Okay, so the approaches of night, but this zone in more specific is Fajr. Okay, Allah calls this Fajr. So now as it gets to civil, and again, it depends where you live, the atmospheric conditions, if it's cloudy, if it's like polluted, there's a lot of atmospheric conditions that could make it look a mix. Here it's all good. It's you're kind of getting a little bit late. I won't say you're like badly late, but you're getting late, okay? You have to look towards the east. Because if you look towards the west during sun, like here is black. All this is even if here is like blue, here's black. So you have to look east because that's where the sun is rising and slash Nahar is coming from. Okay, but you have two things coming out from the east. So if you look towards the west, it's gonna be dark a long timer, much longer. So if you're probably maybe I don't know where you're looking at. Okay, so go outside next time in the morning. Just do what you're doing normal. Just do what you're doing. Okay, do what you're doing. Go outside. Look towards the east. Take your phone out. Look at the east. That's the real place of looking where this is. You can identify this. So you're looking for so you're gonna see like see how it's like white like this? Yeah. This is kind of like the end of Fajr right here. The only way you can actually to properly see, remember, if there's buildings in front of you, if there's a lot of things in front of you, you won't see this. It's hard. You have to really look at the horizon. That's another problem. You're always we tend to be lazy, right? It's morning early, you're waking up, it's like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, depending on the time of the year, right? Because Fajr alternates, okay? It fluctuates. It's different in the world. But you should still, when it's a clear sky, just look at it with your eyes. First of all, it's beautiful. So you say, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. It's just Allah, look at Allah's signs, right? Just see it, match it with the time. So this is showing you're intelligent, you're verifying the, you're confirming. But this is the white thread right here, this little white line here, this tiny little white-ish line. It actually looks like when you look at it in the horizon style. So It's something like, but it's like you can like in Saudi Arabia, it's much clearer. Ironically, in their world, they have a beautiful white line. It's like a clean little white line, and you see. But this is like you're looking at a flat horizon, and most of us don't have that view. You know what I mean? You have to imagine you're above. You will see like a perfect white line here, like that. So that is like such a beautiful thing. Boom. That's the end of Fajr, okay? Or technically speaking, it's like you're getting at the borderline, you know what I mean? Like borderline Fajr. After the so the sunrise in the morning, can you still perform Fajr? Yes, but Fajr has a special explanation. We're gonna see that right now, actually, okay? So now we're at 1778, okay? And again, everything is interconnected, guys. You're gonna see the interconnections. So we saw that one more two time frames, two names, one time frame. You just said this, Amir, and it's connected to this one. Now, how do we see Wusta connection? Okay, Wusta connection. We see 2, 2, 38. So the first connection is the 8. They both have 8s in it. Okay, so it's very important. So now, how do we know Surah 17? 17, interesting. And then this one, 7 plus 8 is 15. Okay, 78 is a odd number because it's 8. It's not a prime number. 79 would be a prime. Okay, I'm just giving you guys some stuff. Al-Isra, very huge surah. Okay. Is there any connections with the name where is we're gonna see here? So 2, 3, 8. What is this? 8 plus 3, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you have 15, and this one gives you 15 too. So there's like a 15 connection here between the two sums. Again, guys, I know this sounds primitive and basic, but storytelling. Always remember. It's a huge thing, guys. Remember, guys, this is level 1.
Jeez, man.
We have a lot to go through. Okay, we're only in the time frame. And again, remember, this is not a matter of the subject. I know you guys know the subject pretty good. Some better than others. I know that. That's not the point. The point is mastery.
Yeah.
Huge difference. And you guys are going to see this is going to be extremely beneficial. Extremely. I'm telling you, not just for Salah, but every other subject after. But we're going to do one thing at a time. Let's 100% master Salah. You'll easily be able to master everything else, bi'idnillah, if Allah wills, by Allah's permission. Okay, let's go to 1778. Now we're in the verse. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس. So establish the salah at the declining of the sun. So the duluk. This is a unique word. Okay, at duluk this is also related to perspective. The wording back in the days I didn't realize that, but now that when you understand how this works, why Allah used this important word is like how the sun is descending in a perspective way. Because it's not really, is it really going down or is it just because of how we're positioned? So Allah used a really unique word. This little decline word is a word that I don't properly know in English, but it means like how things decline with perspective, which is huge. لِدُلُوكِ الشَّمْسِ إِلَى غَسَقِ اللَّيْلِ. So here until the غَسَق اللَّيْلِ. So what is al-ghasaq al-layl? We're going to see that. A lot of people, the darknesses of the light and the night. Ghasaq is also known as this is actually the nautical and astronomical twilight. So the Ghasaq is actually known as one of the twilights in classical and common Arabic. So Wusta, what is it saying? The declining of the sun. Okay, so the sun is is Zahira. So if we go back to Surah 24, verse 58, right? That's where the three names were mentioned, right? 2458, boom. And remember, the middle one wasn't mentioned, right? Right here. Where is it? What am I looking at? Right here. Okay. So and wahina tad'un. Okay. So here you go. And when you put aside your clothing, min al-dhahira. Okay. So at the noon. So this is why isn't wusta mentioned? Because wusta is not directly in the center. It is when the sun is going downwards to ila, towards ila, towards the ghasaqil layl. So it doesn't mean necessarily that the final ending of the timing of wusta is here, which it also does mean this at the darknesses of the night, or the twilight of the dark twilight of night, but it also means towards that direction. Okay, ila is like till, or ila, towards. Okay, and now there's so this is the time frame. So this is huge. So let's go back to that drawing here that we had. Let's keep it like this. So the sun is here, sunrise going up like this. Boom, middle point, the dhahira. Okay, dhahira. So right here, this, and now Allah saying when the sun is here, is going like just when it goes towards the left, literally in English terms, afternoonish. So you will see, you go outside, you look in front of you towards the south, right? The sun is never in the north; it's always towards the southeast to southwest, right? That's what it is. We're in the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere is the opposite. So you will see the sun in front of you. You will see it's in an angle. It's actually going to be towards the right if you're in the northern hemisphere, but in this drawing, it's going to be towards the left. So you're going to see the sun here. You literally see it not perpendicular in front of you. When it's in front of you, it's middle. It's obvious. So it's like towards the left here. Boom. Right here, all of this is the Wusta time frame. And that is pretty interesting. Like this. So until here, this zone, civil and nautical twilight. Okay, so this is it's like the namings, everything's perfect in the Quran. Allah did everything perfect. So wust, but again, you don't want to wait till here. This is not Allah. We're gonna see other verses that timing is very important. Okay, this is just giving you guys. You have until all. How can you miss wusta? Oh, I was working and my shift finished at 7 p.m. and I got home. But guys, remember, in this chart right here that we're looking at, they're actually somewhat equal. Okay, here, this is like a perfect timing. Remember, the world is not perfect like this, right? There's like summer solstice, equinox, like the night is longer than the day, day is longer than the night. So everything is debatable depending on the time of the year. You have to remember that. So Fajr has a specific time frame of precision. But even if you miss it, you have all the way to Dhahira, right here to the middle. But this is like bad. You're like, bro, you're like really bad if you're doing it here. This is still morning time frame. On time frame wise, on time is exactly what you just said, Hamza. Then there's being late. Okay, there's also those who are late, and that's not good. That's not a quality you want to have. Okay, so me, I like this is, and we're gonna see. Hold on, we didn't finish the verse, but we're gonna see why Fajr and Wusta are very important on timing. Isha has this. Allah doesn't put that. Isha is important for other things like memorizing the Quran, reading the Quran, then other things at night. But on timing wise, yes, it like on time stuff, which we're gonna see. There's a verse for that. This is what you. But if it breaks through here, this zone that you're in, you're not in Fajr, obviously. You're in all these other sunrise, morning, early morning, Radawa. You have other time frames, but Wusta hasn't started yet. You know what I mean? You're still in that. If you miss Fajr completely, I would recommend you still do it. Don't be like, oh, I missed it, I'm not gonna do it. No, do it. Even you're considered a late. Your title, you did some let's say June 24, 2025, you were late for Fajr. You get it? That's how it's written by the angels. Now, if you do it here after Dahira, you have missed completely. You are in a new Salat zone. It's over. Exactly that verse. We're gonna see that. That verse that he brought out. We're gonna see Surah 4, verse 103 that he just brought out. When does a salah completely become invalidated? So the question is, after all these years, is the logic is a salah is salah. They are interconnected. Salatul Fajr, then it goes to Salatul Wusta, then it goes to Salatul Isha. Okay, there's 3 different salahs. So normally a salah, and again, this is highly not recommended. I don't care who you are, whatever. And of course, there's excuses. I mean, if depending on how late you are, I mean, what happened in life, whatever. But other than basic excuses, like you should, once it goes after noon, Fajr is guaranteed done because you have entered into Wusta zone. Once you're in Wusta zone, there is no more Fajr done. It's impossible. You're in a new Salah. And and even if you do salah here and you're doing wusta no matter what in this zone. Then once wusta goes into this dark night zone here, Aisha zone is done. If you miss wusta that whole time frame, that 8 hours that you had a chance to do it, you missed it, and you're here in this big zone here of night slash Aisha. You're in the zone of Aisha, and then once you're in the zone of Aisha, that's converting to Fajr, and then it's like really like bluish in the sky. Aisha is done here. Okay, it's done. You can no longer is done. This is the limit of this one, and because of this logic that I just told you here for Wusta and Aisha, the same logic should apply for Fajr. Fajr is the only one that has like this. Guys, yeah, you don't want to get into this zone here in Fajr, okay? However, Allah says, "La yudi'u," He doesn't waste your worship practice. So this is why you can still do it, and you want to do it because even if you're late, so the word is you're late, your goal is to become not late instead of not doing it at all. Being late is better than not doing it at all. And being on time is better than being late. So notice one. So we saw the time frame. This is wusta time frame, right? After the declining, during the declining of the sun till the night twilight. So meaning the astronomical to sorry, the nautical twilight ish to astronomical. That's for wusta. And then Allah brings up. He doesn't say salatul fajr. He says wa Quran al fajr. Very different. And not only that, it's not like maybe it means so. No, in al Quran al Fajr, he emphasizing no, it's Quran al Fajr. The recitation of the Quran in Fajr, kana mashhuda. So now, not only Allah saying that wusta time frame is there's something about this wusta time frame, but Allah also puts something with it that Fajr is also very important, that it is being mashhuda, it has been witnessed, or is being witnessed by who? Allah, obviously, and maybe most likely angels. Not most likely, definitely angels. Which kind of angels? Special angels or something else? That's the proof that there's angels in the ruh. Okay, that they're in this witness time frame. But in context of memorizing this verse, okay, with numbers and all that, this is gonna come back. So this is what? This is wusta time frame, right, guys? Right? One. Yeah. Okay. Good. So here we have 238. So what Allah here is clearly making a distinction with salah. That guys guard strictly your salawats, your prayers. Wa salatul wusta. So here you can see the wa has this another meaning, and you can see here in particular or especially. So the wa has another special meaning. So hafidu ala salawati wa salatil wusta. So there's like a special extra meaning. So wusta has a special meaning already to it. And then وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. We're going to come back to this verse. This is some important attributes of being in salah. So if you go back to the timing of where wusta is, okay, so that means wusta is very important based on the verse where wusta is mentioned among the salawats. But even in wusta where the timing is, there's also fajr now that's being mentioned. So that Allah now shows that even fajr is uniquely special. You see that there's a very, so wusta and fajr are very special. Okay, very important. And think about it, wusta is like most people are working during that time. It's hard, so it's a hard time frame to get through in a normal people life, right? So exactly, so 78 fajr, wusta, interesting. I don't know, you can see a connection here, 78. Also the 8 with the 38, okay, 238, boom, okay. Now, so one thing that you guys have to know, so the first thing to understand is when the sun, so this fajr is what? Fajr is near sunrise, right? This is where the sun is going to come out. And this is the east, okay, al-mashriq, okay, so the east. And the east is a very special angle, right? So this is when you go outside or do anything, you need to know your cardinal directions, right? So east is a start of the days, but the east is also somewhere where the light, listen to the word, the light begins, or the light emerges, or the light comes out. In other words, what light is coming, okay, from the east? It is Allah's light, okay? So in Surah 39, verse 69, okay, on the Day of Judgment, وَأَشْرَقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا. So the earth will shine, but أَشْرَقَ is from the east. From the sun. The east is a very popular thing, so the sunrise. So where light is, okay, that's where light. The west is where the light ends. The light goes away. And remember, Allah guides to the light, right? Allah is the one who takes us out of the night, the darknesses into the light, right? It's a very famous saying. And the taghut, or the shayatins or whatever, they take you out from the night, from the light, and bring you into the darknesses. So here, the east is a very special place. It's connected to light and the beginning of light and all of that stuff. So that, to me, that is exactly what Fajr is, right? It's the beginning of the night. Light is the beginning of daylight. It's the beginning of nur, of light, guidance, and all of that stuff. It is extremely special, right? It's a sign. We don't even know how to create light, right? So we see these amazing colors, this, that, all that. We should be there's glorifications and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's how I see that. When there's light, angels are obviously there. It's light, it's beautiful, and this is a transitional phase. It's the beginning phase of the entire day to start, right? The day is going to start. So this is a very important time. So that, I believe, is probably one of the key reasons. But other than that, it's just what Allah just told us here, All right, guys, we're almost done for today's level 1 lesson. We have some confusion verses. I'm just going to end this one with this one confusion verse. What does that mean? It's Surah 20, verse 130. This verse will always come out with Sunnis and people that are just beginning this and that, like, with the time frames, the names of the Salah and all that. This is the verse. So you all have to know this number, 20, 130. There's zeros in it. These are all pair number multiples of 10, 10 times 2, 10 times 13, 20, 130. What is this verse? And why am I bringing this out? 20, 130, the famous verse, and it connects with this one, yeah. فَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ وَقَبْلَ غُرُوبِهَا. Then it goes, وَمِنْ آنَاءِ اللَّيْلِ وَسَبِّحْ فَسَبِّحْ وَأَطْرَافَ النَّهَارِ. This is the key thing right here. This one at the ends of the day, وَأَطْرَافَ النَّهَارِ لَعَلَّكَ تَرْضَى. So this one, so many Sunnis, so many Quran alone people, even some, they're like, oh, this is the explanation that there's 5 prayers. Okay, right away they bring this up, guys. Sister, you're gonna be masters at this. I'm telling you right away. You have to know the typical problems, or the typical, I call it, confusions. Okay, this is the confusion of this area. You go, oh, this one is the 5 Salah. And you're like, what? And then you go, wait, where? The first thing is, you should be saying, does it mention Salah, first of all? Like tremendous amount of question. Like, come on, guys. Like, obviously, it's like the first, like, how does this have to do with Salah in the first? But bro, this comes out all the time, okay, guys? So you have to know this all the time. And go, okay, wait, it goes, first of all, it doesn't say Salah. It says what? It says, Wasabih. They don't even know what glorify is. Completely different subject. This is, and it says to glorify twice. So it's 100% saying this has nothing to do with Salah. This is a complete different time frame. This is a whole different subject. And this comes to the Tasbih subject. And we are not going into any of that, because that's a complete different mastery that we're going to get to another time. So, but without, most of them didn't even realize they bring this has that. So the answer is, guys, this has nothing to do with Salah. And you ask them, show me how does this connect to Salah? And you're like, oh, with the tarafa an-nahar, this thing right here, this part right here at the ends of the day. I'm like, oh, wow, really? So you go, first of all, it says ends in plural as 3 ends. And in the verse where we saw before, 1114, there's 2 ends, or both ends. So this would contradict this verse, because Allah says here that there's 2 ends of the day. Now there's 3 ends of the day or more. at least 3 ends, because in plural Arabic there's minimum 3. So you have there's 3 ends. Doesn't God say there's 2 ends? You guys get it? So
Yeah.
if 21:30 was Salah time frame, TF, okay, time frame, then why is ends of the day why is ends of the day in the plural Arabic? Okay, let's just put it like this. Yeah, instead of dual in 1114. Very important logic here. This is what in my video, whatever, this is exactly what I show. So but it's just common sense. You can see this, you know, obviously it's and so on. So you're like, whoa. So a lot of red flags, right? For this is cannot be Salah. There's red flags, but you guys, as you know, you have to know this, and you have to know why, and you have to explain that. And I hope that makes sense. But if you want to do like an extra little homework or out of curiosity, go watch the Tasbih video. You're gonna love it. I hope. Very different from Salah, but very important. And that the reason why that video came out was because of this confusion question. Just because of this 21:30, I was like, wait, what is this Sabih thing? What is this? I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, why does it have time frames? But so just another tiny thing. The Sunni world currently mix the Tasbih and Salah together. For example,
That's scary.
Fajr, there's 2 rak'ah. The rule, the basic rule of Salah is, and they call it Salatul Tasbih, exactly. So the rule of Salah is that your tone of voice has to be like medium tone, right? Like in Surah 17, verse 110 that we're gonna get to later on.
Yes.
Okay, there's a tone of voice of Salah. So where does the Sunnis respect that? They respect that in Fajr. They do 2 rak'ahs, right? They do, so Fajr. Dohar prayer, so like middle prayer, which is a tasbih, they are silent. And that's the rule of tasbih. They don't even know. But Prophet Muhammad was technically doing a tasbih silently. He was glorifying God silently. Then Asr, what they call Asr, they do 4 rak'ah, silent again. This is, again, the time frame is part of a tasbih time frame. But Maghrib, what do? You know what they do, Maghrib? Maghrib, they do 3 rak'ahs. 2 of them are with a tone of voice. And the last one is silent, right? Then you have Salatul Isha. The first 2 are with a tone of voice. The last 2 are silent, right? So you're like, wait, basically they did 3 salahs with a tone of voice, like we're supposed to do. They do 2 rak'ahs, all of them, exactly what is shown in the Quran. All the rest are silent, and all the rest are in the perfect tasbih time frame. So basically what they did was they had no idea what Prophet Muhammad was doing. They were confused, or they did know. The later generation was like, bro, everything is a salah. They're all is salatul salah. You know, so he's doing salatul fajr. So they just combine everything into salah, but in reality, they're 2 complete distinct things, and they are the proof of that. So okay, guys. So next, and then we get into level 2. Okay, level 2 is wudu, tone of voices, basic stuff like that. Okay, so first of all, I have maybe twice in the year where my alarm, for whatever reason, even though it's set every single day, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And because of that, sometimes I have 2 alarms. That's how crazy it got. But it's like something happens, like with the system, or something happened. But whatever, I literally am late. So there's a difference between late and missing it. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Missing it is huge.
Right.
It's far worse than late, and that's it. That's how I have to look at it. So if you're late, and this is 1 out of 365 days, alhamdulillah, man, you're okay. Or twice out of 365 days, bro, you're good. Like you had 2 lates, 2. That's like a 99% ratio. You're good. Yeah, you're late. That's different than missing it completely. Meaning, wusta time came, you completely forgot Allah. That's what it means when you miss it. You're late. Missing it is you didn't come to work. That's a huge difference. So guys, never miss Salah. Late Don't try not to. We're gonna get to this next week because we're getting late on time right now. So guys, next week this, and we're gonna see the next level. Okay.
Inshallah.